You are watching Fair Notebook channel, notes made fair, learning made easy.
Welcome to our channel Fair Notebook. Today we explore the fascinating story from your class 7 social science chapter, How the Land Became Sacred. Join us as we journey through time and discover how people connected with their land in unique and sacred ways. Get ready to uncover the history, culture, and beliefs that made the land more than just soil but a place full of meaning and spirit. Let's dive in. After watching this video, you are able to answer these questions. What is sacredness? How does the land become sacred? How do sacred sites and pilgrimage networks connect with the life and culture of the people? What role did sacred geography play in the cultural integration of the Indian subcontinent? What is sacredness? The concept of sacredness refers to something of deep religious or spiritual significance regarded as holy, worthy of respect and reverence. In the context of India, sacredness is not limited to religious beliefs but is closely tied to geography, traditions, and a sense of cultural unity. Sacredness can be associated with special locations, shrines, journeys, routes, or even the land itself. Every religion and school of thought in India, including those that originated outside the country like Islam, Christianity, Judaism, and Zoroastrianism, has its own sacred place. People from different faiths often visit these sites, such as the Dargah Sharif in Ajmer or the Velakani Church in Tamil Nadu, especially on special occasions. Religions that originated in India, such as Buddhism, Sikhism, Jainism, and Hinduism, have numerous sacred sites. For Buddhists, places visited by the Buddha or where the relics are kept, like the Great Stupa at Sanchi and the Mahabodhi Stupa at Bodh Gaya, are major pilgrimage destinations. Sikhism regards its takhts or seat of spiritual authority as sacred, and Sikhs aspire to visit them at least once in their lifetime. Sikh gurus themselves undertook pilgrimages to various sacred sites, including those of other religions. India has a long standing tradition of pilgrimage, with people traveling vast distances to places like Badrinath, Kedarnath, Amarnath, and Kanyakumari, fostering a sense of national and cultural unity as noted by Jawaharlal Nehru. Pilgrimage or Tirthyatras. Pilgrimages or Tirthyatras are an ancient traditions in India seen as both physical and inner journeys requiring a specific code of conduct. For thousands of years, Indians have traversed the subcontinent, making its entire geography sacred. Pilgrims often travel in groups, carrying all necessities, and visit multiple sacred sites as described in the account by historian Dharampal. In Jainism, Tirthas are linked to the lives of Tirthankars, with sacred places including Mount Abu, Girnar, and Shatrujaya Hill. The Sabrimala temple in Kerala is another example where the challenging trait symbolizes the inner spiritual journey. Sacred geography. In India, it is marked by interconnected networks of sacred places such as the 4 sites of the Char Dham Yatra, the 12 Jyotirling, and the 51 Shakti Peeths, which cover the entire subcontinent. The story of the Shakti Peeth illustrates how the land itself is seen as the body of the Divine Mother, symbolizing the sacredness of the entire country. Pilgrims visiting these sites encounter diverse cultures, languages, and customs, enriching their understanding of India's unity in diversity. People travel long distances for various reasons: religious, commercial, intellectual, and educational. Trade routes often overlapped with pilgrimage routes, facilitating the exchange of goods, ideas, and knowledge, which contributed to the cultural integration of the subcontinent. Sacred ecology. Sacred ecology is evident in the location of tirths near rivers, lakes, forests, and mountains, reinforcing the idea that natural landscapes are sacred spaces. Rivers have been worshipped since Vedic times, with rituals invoking major rivers like the Ganga, Yamuna, Godavari, Saraswati, Narmada, Sindhu, and Kaveri. The Kumbh Mela, held at the confluence of rivers in Prayagraj, Haridwar, Nasik, and Ujjain, is a major religious event attracting millions of participants, rooted in the legend of Amrit Manthan. Mountains and forests are also regarded as sacred, often associated with legends and deities. Many temples are located on hilltops, symbolizing the journey towards the divine. Sacred trees, especially the peepal or Bodhi tree, are revered across various religions for their spiritual significance. Sacred groves protected by ruler and tribal communities as abodes of deities play a crucial role in conserving biodiversity and water resources. The lesson also highlights the relationship between pilgrimage and trade, with traders and pilgrims benefiting from each other's presence along shared routes. Major trade routes like the Uttar Path and Dakshin Path facilitated the movement of goods and ideas, further integrating the region culturally and economically. More sacred sites. The concept of sacred geography is not unique to India. Other cultures, such as Greeks, Native Americans, and Maoris of New Zealand, also regard natural features as sacred. The Maoris' successful advocacy for the legal recognition of Taranaki Monga as a living entity exemplifies the global relevance of sacred geography. Finally, the lesson emphasized the need to restore and conserve sacred geography in the face of modern challenges. The harmonious relationship between people and the sacred landscape sustained Indian civilization for millennia, and this worldview has much to offer in addressing contemporary issues of sustainability and environmental protection. We have learned some important concepts from this lesson, such as all religions in India have their sacred places dotted over the landscape. In Buddhism, Jainism, and Sikhism, such places are usually associated with some of the great features in these belief systems. Hinduism has dense network of pilgrimage sites covering the entire geography of India. The practice of pilgrimage is interwoven with the lives of people, as it serves the individual development and spiritual growth, but also the socio-economic purpose of trade, expansion, and pan-India cultural integration. In many Hindu, tribal, and folk traditions, the very land is perceived as sacred. Our sacred places are being polluted owing to widespread and a lack of concern. It is our duty to protect our national heritage, as our constitution also reminds us. Answer to the questions and activities given in between the lesson. Let's explore activity on page number 171. Read the excerpt. What are your observations? Locate the route the group must have taken from Rameshwaram to Haridwar. Why do you think the group was going straight to Haridwar instead of stopping at Delhi? Answer. The group travelled for 3 months from Rameshwaram to Haridwar, carrying their own food and essentials, showing their dedication to pilgrimage. Route. They likely took a train route passing through southern India up to Delhi and then to Haridwar. Reason for not stopping at Delhi: they might have been focused on reaching Haridwar for its sacred significance, possibly for a specific religious event, or to complete their pilgrimage without delay. Let's explore activity on page number 173. Note the locations of the Char Dham. What do you think it implied for the people when they travelled north, south and east, west? Answer. Locations. The Char Dham includes Badrinath, north, Dwarka, west, Puri, east and Rameshwaram, south. Implication. Travelling north-south and east-west meant people faced long challenging journeys, fostering unity, cultural exchange and spiritual growth across India's diverse regions. Let's explore activity on page number 174. Can you identify the names of a few traditional tirths given in the map? Answer. The map shows traditional tirths across India, including Jyotirling sites, example Kedarnath, Rameshwaram. Kumbh Mela sites, example Haridwar, Prayagraj. Buddhist sites, example Bodh Gaya, Sanchi. Jain sites, example Mount Abu, Girnar. And Sikh sites, example Amritsar, Patna. The routes connecting these sites, marked with lines, suggest pilgrimage paths crisscrossing north-south and east-west, reflecting India's sacred geography. These journeys likely help people experience diverse cultures and unite the country spiritually. Think about it on page number 177. How do you think these sacred places are connected with the people's economic lives and activities? Draw a mind map to trace these connections. Answer. Sacred places like Varanasi connect to people's economic lives through activities such as tourism, selling religious items, boat services on the Gangas, and offering to priests. These activities provide income for locals. Mind map. Center Varanasi, sacred place. Tourism. Visitors buy tickets, stay in hotels. Trade. Selling puja items, flowers, prasad. Services. Boat rides, priestly services. Local economy. Jobs for guides, shopkeepers. Think about it on page number 179. Many parts of the peepal tree have medical uses. The leaves are used to treat some skin ailments, while the bark is used for stomach ailments. Since it stays green almost through the year, it provides food and shelter to many types of birds and other animals. Answer. Yes. The peepal tree has medical uses. Leaves treat skin ailments and bark help with stomach issues. Since it stays green year around, it provides food and shelter to birds and other animals. Let's explore activity on page number 181. Take a sheet of transparent paper that can be used for tracing. Trace a map of the trade routes from the chapter The Rise of Empires. Place it on top of the map of the important dates. What do you observe? Answer. By placing the traced trade routes from the rise of the empires over the map of important dates, you would observe that many pilgrimage routes overlap with ancient trade routes, suggesting that dates were often located along paths used for trade, facilitating both spiritual and economic exchanges. Think about it on page number 182. Look carefully at these pictures of places and animals that are considered sacred. The Yamuna in the north, the Mahanadi in the east, or Kaveri in the south are all sacred rivers. How come they become so polluted? Are there sacred places in your locality or region that have been similarly polluted or degraded by human activity? Whose responsibility is it to preserve the sanctity of our sacred places? Discuss in your class. Answer. This picture shows sacred rivers like the Yamuna, Mahanadi and Kaveri heavily polluted with waste and foam, and a cow surrounded by garbage indicating degradation. This pollution likely results from human activities such as industrial waste, sewage and littering. Yes, sacred places in my locality or region might also be polluted or degraded due to similar human actions. Responsibility to preserve their sanctity lies with individuals, communities, and the government through better waste management and awareness. Answer to the questions given at the end of the chapter. Question. Read the following statement by a well-known environmental thinker, David Suzuki. The way we see the world shapes the way we treat it. If a mountain is a deity, not a pile of ore, if a river is one of the veins of the land, not potential irrigation water, if a forest is sacred grove, not timber, if other species are biological kin, not resources, or if the planet is our mother, not an opportunity, then we will treat each other with greater respect. Thus, is the challenge to look at the world from a different perspective. What do you think this statement means? What implication does it have for our actions with respect to the air, water, land, trees, and mountains around us? Answer. This statement means that if we look at nature as sacred and living, we will treat it with respect instead of exploiting it. If we see rivers as lifelines, forests as sacred groves, and mountains as deities, we will protect them rather than destroy them for resources. The implication is that we must take care of the air, water, land, trees, and mountains as if they are part of our family. This perspective helps us to live sustainably and ensures that future generations also enjoy a healthy environment. Question. List the sacred sites in your region. Inquire into why they are considered sacred. Are there stories connected with these sacred sites? Answer. In my region, some sacred sites are the local temple by the river, a peepal tree worshipped by the community, and a shrine on a nearby hill. They are considered sacred because people believe deities reside there. The river temple is linked with the legend that the goddess blessed the village with water in a time of drought. The peepal tree is regarded as holy and is tied with threads by women who pray for family well-being. The hill shrine is visited during festivals where people climb the hill as a form of devotion. These stories connect people to the land and create a sense of belonging and respect for nature. Question: why do you think natural elements like rivers, mountains, and forests are considered sacred for the people? How do they contribute to our lives? Answer: natural elements are considered sacred because they give life and support human survival. Rivers provide water for drinking, farming, and rituals. Mountains are source of rivers and symbolize closeness to heaven. Forests provide oxygen, medicines, and resources. By regarding them as sacred, people ensure their protection. They contribute to our lives by giving food, water, shelter, fresh air, and spiritual peace. Question: why do people visit a tirth or other sacred sites? Answer: people visit tirths or sacred sites to seek blessings, purify themselves, and grow spiritually. Pilgrimages are seen as inner journeys that bring discipline, devotion, and peace. People also go to fulfill vows, celebrate festivals, or connect with their community. Question: how did the ancient pilgrimage routes help in fostering trade during those times? Do you think the sacred sites help in developing the economy of the region? Answer: ancient pilgrimage routes overlapped with trade routes. Pilgrims needed food, clothes, and offerings which traders provided. Traders also carried their goods to distant markets while traveling as pilgrims. This exchange increased cultural interaction and economic activity. Even today, sacred sites help in developing the economy by creating jobs in tourism, transport, shops, and services around temples and shrines. Question: how do sacred places influence the culture and tradition of the people living near them? Answer: sacred places shape local festivals, rituals, food habits, music, and stories. People celebrate annual fairs or melas, follow tradition of worship, and create folklore around the shrines. These customs unite the community and pass cultural values to future generations. Question: from the various sacred sites of India, select two of your choice and create a project explaining their significance. Answer: simple project outline 1, Bodh Gaya, Bihar. Place where the Buddha attained enlightenment. Mahabodhi Stup is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, attracts millions of pilgrims worldwide. Second, Vaishno Devi Temple, Jammu and Kashmir. Located in the Tirukutta Hills, believed to be the abode of goddess Vaishno Devi. Pilgrims trek through mountains, symbolizing devotion and strength, generates large-scale tourism and local employment. Question: what is the twofold significance of our Tirath Yatra or our pilgrimage? Answer: our Tirath Yatra has twofold significance. Spiritual significance: it is a sacred journey that purifies the soul, strengthens faith, and brings inner growth. Cultural and social significance: it connects people across regions, promotes unity, facilitates trade, and encourages sharing of ideas and traditions. More important question answers. Question: what is the definition of sacredness in the context of this chapter? Answer: Sacredness refers to something of deep religious or spiritual significance, worthy of respect and reverence, and considered holy or divine. It can be a location, shrine, pilgrimage, route, or the land itself. Question: how does sacredness connect to geography and culture in India? Answer: sacredness in India intertwines with geography through sacred sites, pilgrimage routes, and natural elements like rivers, mountains, fostering culture unity through shared traditions and values across diverse regions. Question: which religions originating outside India have sacred places in India? Answer: Islam, Christianity, Judaism, and Zoroastrianism have sacred places in India, such as the Dargah Sharif in Ajmer, Rajasthan, and the Velakkanni Church in Tamil Nadu. Question: what are some examples of sacred Buddhist sites in India? Answer: the Great Stoop at Sanchi, Madhya Pradesh, a relic stoop, and the Mahabodhi Stoop in Bodh Gaya, Bihar, where the Buddha attained enlightenment, are key Buddhist sacred sites. Question: how many visitors does Bodh Gaya receive annually? Answer: Bodh Gaya receives over 4 million visitors every year. Question: what are takhts in Sikhism, and can you name some examples? Answer: takhts are spiritual centers of authority in Sikhism. Examples include Takht Shri Patna Sahib, Patna, Akal Takht, Golden Temple, Amritsar, and Takht Shri Keshgarh Sahib, Anandpur. Question: which places did Guru Nanak visit as part of Sikh pilgrimage traditions? Answer: Guru Nanak visited places like Haridwar, Prayag, Mathura, Varanasi, Ayodhya, Puri, and some Muslim shrines. Question: what are Tirths in Jainism, and what are some examples? Answer: Tirths in Jainism are places where Tirthankars attained liberation or significant life events occurred, such as Mount Abu, Girnar, Satrunjaya Hill in Gujarat, and the Sabrimala temple in Kerala. Question: what is the significance of the Sabrimala temple's trek? Answer: the challenging trek to Sabrimala symbolizing the difficulties of the inner spiritual journey, drawing over 10 million devotees annually. Question: what is a Tirth Yatra and why is it significant in India? Answer: a Tirth Yatra is a pilgrimage to sacred sites, Tirths, involving both physical and spiritual journeys with a specific code of conduct significant for fostering cultural unity and spiritual growth for over 3000 years. Question: what did Jawaharlal Nehru say about pilgrimages in India in 1961? Answer: Nehru stated that pilgrimages across India from Badrinath in the Himalayas to Kanyakumari in the south reflect a sense of one country and one culture, uniting people through shared spiritual practices. Question: what is a Char Dham Yatra and why is it significant? Answer: the Char Dham Yatra is a pilgrimage to 4 sacred sites in the southern, northern, eastern, and western corners in India, symbolizing the interconnected sacred geography of the country. Question: what is the story behind the 51 Shakti Peeths? Answer: the 51 Shakti Peeths mark places where parts of Sati's body fell after Vishnu cut it to calm Shiva's anger, symbolizing the entire land of India as the body of the Divine Mother. Question: how do pilgrimages contribute to cultural integration in India? Answer: pilgrimages expose travelers to diverse languages, customs, and food while highlighting common cultural values, fostering discussions, debates, and the exchange of ideas, enriching India's cultural unity. Question: how are rivers significant in Indian sacred geography? Answer: rivers like Ganga, Yamuna, Godavari, and other are worshipped as devis, invoked in rituals, and their sources, tributaries, and confluences are sacred pilgrimage sites. Question: what is a Kumbh Mela and where is it held? Answer: the Kumbh Mela is a major festival held every 6 years at Haridwar, Prayagraj, Nasik, and Ujjain, where drops of Amrit fell, making a dip in the rivers there auspicious. Question: why was the Kumbh Mela recognized by UNESCO? Answer: the Kumbh Mela was listed as an intangible heritage of the world by UNESCO due to its cultural and spiritual significance, with an estimated 660 million participants in 2025. Question: why are mountains considered sacred in India? Answer: mountains are seen as gateways from earth to heaven, symbolizing spiritual ascent, with many tirthas and temples located on hilltops, requiring arduous treks that test physical and mental strength. Question: what is the significance of the peepal tree in Indian religions? Answer: the peepal tree is a sacred in Hinduism, Buddhism, Sikhism, and Jainism, often adorned with offerings like turmeric and kumkum, and significant in India's cultural geography for millennia. Question: what are sacred groves and why they are important? Answer: sacred groves are protected forests seen as abodes of deities, preserving biodiversity, and water bodies like Rinkyu in Meghalaya, but their numbers are shrinking due to encroachment. Question: how do sacred groves in Tamil Nadu support ecosystems? Answer: in Tamil Nadu, sacred groves deities protect fruit bats considered auspicious, which aid in pollination and seed dispersal, fostering a harmonious relationship between deities, ecosystems, and humans. Question: how did pilgrimage and trade routes overlap in ancient India? Answer: pilgrimage and trade routes like Uttar Path and Dakshin Path overlapped, with traders supplying pilgrims with goods like precious stones and spices, fostering cultural and economic exchange. Question: what are some examples of goods traded along ancient Indian trade routes? Answer: goods traded including precious stones like shells and pearls, coins, gold, diamonds, cottons, spices, and sandalwood. Question: how does sacred geography extended beyond India? Answer: sacred geography exists globally, such as in ancient Greece, mountains and groves among Native Americans, nature as sacred, and with the Maoris in New Zealand, who grant legal personhood to Taranaki Monga. Question: how does sacred geography contribute to sustainability today? Answer: sacred geography promotes environmental conservation by embedding spiritual values in nature, encouraging communities to protect rivers, mountains, and groves against overexploitation, offering lessons for global sustainability.
If you found this video informative, then please like and share, and subscribe to the channel Fair Notebook. Thank you for watching the video.
अगले पार्ट का वीडियो देखने के लिए नेक्स्ट वीडियो पर क्लिक करें और सभी पार्टों के लिए फुल प्लेलिस्ट पर क्लिक करें।